And if you understand that women perceive sex as power to them, then you will better understand the nuances of why an individual woman makes certain decisions she might make. When she sleeps with a guy on the first date, if she does it just for herself and her own sexual gratification, this is why a lot of times she sexually gratifies herself with guys who are not relationship material, because she doesn't give up as much power, meaning less consequence, less risk, to a guy that she's never going to do a relationship with. This guy just got out of prison. Why? I'm not going to have a relationship with him. Now, unfortunately, though, there are complexities involved because we have emotions. We have neurochemical reactions, which we can call emotions. And so what happens is she sleeps with that guy who just got out of prison, who she's not going to have a relationship with. She can have all of the, she can just let herself go sexually because she doesn't perceive the risk or consequence, because she doesn't feel like she's going to lose power, because she's not going to marry this dude, or she's not going to have kids with this guy. What do you mean? Oh, but then she has great sexual experiences with the guy because she let herself go. And then what happens? Neurochemicals kick in, oxytocin kicks in, all that stuff happens, right? Like, take him out of the picture, anything he's doing to help things along with his game. Like, now she's falling for the guy, right? Like, that's what ends up happening. And then, so there's complexities here that happen. But if you understand that it's a cost benefit analysis, and if you understand that women perceive sex as power to them, then you will better understand the nuances of why an individual woman makes certain decisions she might make. All right. And notice it has, so far, I haven't mentioned high value man. That doesn't really play a role. It plays a role, but doesn't in this case, right? High value man has more to do with benefits and perceived benefits and perceived risks as well. So the interesting, someone said, I've heard it said a couple, like, well, I've heard some creators say that hypergamy is not real because women won't try to settle down necessarily with the most high value man. A lot of times they will settle down with the guy that, is more, they feel is more of a match when they could have gotten this other guy, right? So how does hypergamy work then if that's the case? Well, again, hypergamy is not the only drive. That's how that works. And the real drive is, benefits versus risk. She'll still have sex with a high value man if she perceives the benefits as astronomically high and the risks and consequences low. But what she would, if her perceived benefits though are, because she's, let's say, 32 years old and she's more long-term relationship minded, her perceived benefits now are, well, wait a second, if I sleep with this higher value guy that I'm not likely or less likely going to get into a relationship with, and if I do get in a relationship with him, I will have less power in that relationship. He will have all the power, and that's scary to me. I see higher risk, higher consequence to going with a high value man, even if I get him in a relationship. If I sleep with him short term, I'll lose opportunity with the guy who's technically SMV less valuable. I'll lose that opportunity because this guy is going to be disgusted with me and probably not want to marry me. So that's lost there, right? And then if let's say I do have sex with him, we end up in a relationship, I won't have any power in that relationship whatsoever. So now she's sort of the bad boys or even high SMV guys. Maybe she was banging a high value man to get in his, classic car and to have vacation sex or get on a boat or something. When she was 23 years old, she's not doing that now at 31. Okay. She's going to reject this guy now, right? Hypergamy plays a role. It's not the only role. You see what I'm saying? The benefits, perceived benefits and reward for, let's say, a more normal, stable guy at 31 is perceived higher than the consequence of going with that guy. So that's who she ends up going with. All right. That's why hypergamy is still there, still plays a role. She still gets aroused by the Guy that checks all the SMV blocks, the desire could be there, but she will shut the desire off because once the perceived risks are higher than the benefits, that switch comes off. Sex is power. She hooks up with, Bob the accountant or whoever. Although I got some alpha male ass accountants in my private group, so we're not talking about those guys. We'll say, I don't know, pick a less alpha guy. Anyways, she picks a nice guy to settle down with. And you know what? Her sexual feelings are high in the beginning. Why? I'll get into why that is too. She perceives him as high value, higher than her value. And she also knows that she has to get this guy. And, there's a lot of motivations to get him. And so sexually, she's turned on. She knows if she's not turned on sexually, she won't get all of the benefits that Bob has to offer, right? And so she's turned on, and, the benefits of having sex, which is getting the relationship, getting him, getting the marriage, getting a future, all the things, all the prizes, right, from the relationship are tied in with sex. So her desire will be higher because the perceived benefits are higher, and he's perceived as less or lower risk than high SMV entrepreneur six-pack abs guy or whatever it is, right? So she goes with him, okay? And then they get in the relationship. She gets all the prizes, and she gets his attachment and his love, and what happens now? Less benefits, perceived benefits for the sex. Sex is a thing of power for her. Now there's a couple things that happen, but now there's less benefits, and then those consequences and risks of sex become more prevalent in her reticular activating system. If I'm giving up my power through sex 5 times a week to my husband, because that's her mental paradigm, then I'm losing power in the relationship. He'll take me for granted. There's a lot of things that could crop up there. And so the light switch comes off, because what made the switch go on was winning all the prizes for the relationship, you see. And once she got all the prizes, and those prizes are perceived as being independent of whether or not she has sex with them or not, because as guys just want to have a good sexual relationships. Guys don't have this cost benefit thing. And we know this. Why do we know this? Because guys just want to have sex, right? So guys will have sex with girls that are way more risk and way more cost than they should be, and they'll still have sex with them. Like, guys are not quite operating in the same way that girls are. All right. So anyway.